Hi everyone! So if there's ever been a long overdue video, besides the other long overdue videos that I have in the works that you guys have been asking for, that I've been working on but trying to get perfect, this is one of them. This came to me the other day because I thought, why not? You know, when something is so obvious that you don't think about it. Today's going to be a Lindstrom brand overview. I usually do best of the brand videos where I talk about, my favorite products from our range, but with Lindstrom, every product is my favorite product, and I have the full collection. I've acquired it as the months and years have progressed. I wanted to sort of give you my story and my experience with the brand. I'm going to talk about the products in the order that I picked them up and talk about my reasoning, who they're good for, what they're good for, a little bit of background, and then just have some sort of conversational things at the end. This is going to be a long one. As if my videos aren't long. You'll have to excuse the noise too. Heater's on and I'm doing laundry. Double whammy. I'm on antibiotics, so if I seem loopy, it's because I am. So I'm hoping that my thoughts are able to convey themselves correctly. I'm a little out of it, but I had to make this video because I haven't done much of anything for the past 2 weeks as far as productivity, and it's driving me insane, so I had to sit down and film today. Turns out my cold was a sinus infection, which is the best thing in the world, so I'm heavily medicated, still coughing, drinking water at any chance that I can get, and my voice is very Bonnie Tyler right now, which I'm okay with. Before we get into any of the details, there will be a blog post where all of the products will be mentioned. Maybe I'll do a few reviews. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but I think having a post that you can reference back to, and if you aren't in a situation where you can watch a video to be reminded of what a certain thing does, then you can have that as a reference point. So my journey with Lindstrom began when I saw Caroline Hyren speaking about the Blue Cocoon a couple years ago, but I kept thinking about it and I kept hearing about it, and it was always in the back of my mind, and it was there for about between 6 to 8 months before I finally decided to truly look into it and eventually purchase it. I got mine from Shen Beauty in Brooklyn. Something about the name, the Blue Cocoon, really just kept kind of drawing me in, and that's what May does, is her products are very enticing, and they have sort of an air of mystery about them, which I think makes for a unique product experience. I think the thing to be said about the Lindstrom brand, though, as well, like the Lindstrom skin line, it's not for everybody. And I say that with the utmost respect and obviously adoration for the brand. I wouldn't be filming this video if I did not believe in it and love it. And I truly do. She makes some of my absolute favorite products ever. And there's our squirrel friend again. I love the line, but I also recognize that not everyone will appreciate it the way that I do, which is not meant to sound pretentious, even though I said it that way. But what I mean is, for some people who really love clinical skincare and love acids and love foaming cleansers and gel-based moisturizers, and they love to layer layers and layers and layers of skincare, or they get a lot of chemical peels, or someone who isn't really at least semi-intrigued by the idea of green beauty and sort of wild crafted ingredients and products you have to mix yourself and things that, are as much aromatherapy as they are skincare. If you're not that kind of person, or you don't have any interest in that world, I don't think the Lindstrom brand is really something that you'll be able to, I think, truly appreciate the way you appreciate, the exfoliating pads that you're in love with, or the clinical skincare that you're a really big fan of. Lindstrom, I think, is really a line for someone who wants to approach their skincare in a way of self-care, nurturing, calming, comforting, soothing, replenishing. These are all words that I feel like really describe what her products do to your skin, your body, your soul, your emotion, your mind. I use the products because they make me feel good as much as they provide a benefit for my skin. So for me, and really to this day, I still credit Lindstrom as my foundation for really viewing skincare as self-care. I really owe her a lot of credit because it started with the Blue Cocoon and it's evolved into the entire range, but every time I use her products, it's sort of a reminder to take care of myself and to respect my body and respect my skin and find my core again and sort of center myself. It's very easy, obviously, in this day and age to get separated from what you feel connected with, or things that you might not necessarily normally feel connected with, but you'd like to be. She has made products that have saved my life, point blank, and just there's something about her energy, and you can feel it in the products. You can feel the care, the warmth, almost the maternal instinct that she puts behind her products. Obviously her children are the cutest things in the world, but her products feel very nurtured, and they feel like they were made from the soul, and it's beautiful, and I could cry thinking about it because it is such a special experience for me. So, I mean, I have received some products as gifts from friends, but everything else I've purchased myself, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. I didn't buy the full collection at one time, the way you can do, I think, on her website, and it saves you a little bit of money, but I purchased them individually over the span of about a year and a half. With the full intention of wanting to continue to explore the range. So at this time, I think what's today, the 17th of February in 2017, the Pendulum Potion is not out yet. So if you watch this video a couple months from now and it is, just know I'm probably obsessed with it. I don't know, I haven't tried it. I looked at the ingredient list, it looks beautiful. The way it sounds amazing. I did not get to try it in sort of a small size, the way a lot of people who purchased products at the time she was doing that gift with purchase. The collection is quite curated. There's really only one of each type of product, really. I think you can do a lot with this collection. There are a few gaps where I feel like, you know, there are products that could stand to support the line and be really fantastic, that for at least my skin would be beneficial, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I think May created this collection knowing that it was going to be this way, and it was going to be very small and very well curated. And she was in a Women's Wear Daily article where, you know, she was interviewed, and she was talking about wanting to keep the distribution small and actually reducing the amount of retailers that she was in order to kind of keep the business as much like a family as possible and sort of know everyone that works with her. And I think that's as beautiful as it is bold. It's not something you see in the cosmetics industry in modern times. Everyone wants to get bigger, grow, sell more, make more money, and May wants to just keep things small and keep them very controlled. When I describe May Lindstrom, I use the word green every time, and I use the word luxury every time, because I don't think you can describe her brand without using both of those words. By all means, if you are intrigued by the brand and you want to know what the hype is about, then the products are beautiful, and I really hope that you'd enjoy them. But for a lot of people that I hear that don't like them, and I don't want to say this in a mean way at all, and it's gonna come out sounding really mean, but I mean it from a good place, I don't think they get it. You know what I mean? Because May doesn't just make products. They're not skincare products. They're skincare experiences. They're soul elixirs. You know, they're designed to make you feel better and work on the skin and take care of the skin at the same time. So if you are just expecting, you're looking at your skin, you see a concern, you look at a product that treats that concern, and that's the association you make, you don't connect it back with how you feel emotionally, then I don't know if May Lindstrom is the brand for you. And that's okay. There's not a brand in the world that is universal for every single person. And I think that's what makes the industry great. But I just don't want anyone to sort of be disappointed, because you do have to approach the May Lindstrom brand a little bit differently than you approach Dr. Dennis Gross, for example. Both brands are beautiful, but they're very different. I think the website is amazing. It has lots of customer testimonials, FAQs. It's got sort of advice on how to approach the line, what products work for, what kind of skin or what kind of person. Every product page is like an experience. Her website, just reading what has been written is so, just like takes you to another world. There's amazing videos. It's a great website, and so I'm going to be using it to sort of supplement what I'm talking about today, so I can sort of quote her directly. A little bit about how May formulates. Everything is done by hand, and I believe she either will formulate it and batch it completely on her own, or it might be to the point where she has a team that sort of helps her fill jars and that sort of thing, or label things and that sort of thing. From my understanding, everything has been formulated by her, and everything is done by hand. So, and I'll show you, there's product differentiation between obviously batches, and even one jar to another, they're going to be different. And I think there's something really special about that it means that the product that you're buying, even though it's the same product, it's slightly different than someone else's. So no two products are the same, just like people. I don't know. So let's talk about ingredients that she uses. She uses ingredients that are organic, biodynamic, wildcrafted, cruelty-free, sustainable, and conscious. She creates her own proprietary formulas, no outsourcing, no base formulas, which is really common in the cosmetics industry. No labs, generics, or shortcuts. So this is what the ingredients that she does not formulate with are parabens, propylene or butylene glycols, petroleum, sulfates, PEGs, TEA, DEA, phthalates, GMO, silicones, pesticides, artificial dyes, fragrances, are carcinogens, wheat and gluten-free, wheat and gluten-free, with the exception of the honey mud, which is, it has raw wildflower honey from unsprayed fields. Everything else is vegan, obviously, except honey mud. No fillers. Every ingredient is chosen with intention. Everything's also done in really small batches, so you're getting potency, which I think is great. And that's the thing with Lindstrom is you read the ingredient lists on every single product and you're just sort of awestruck because they read so beautifully. They read like poetry, and there's ingredients that you'll recognize and there's ingredients that you haven't heard of but you're intrigued by. On the blog there will be full ingredient lists of every single product that's reviewed in this video and then on there as well. I'm just going to kind of call out a few from each and sort of just explain them to you. So let's talk about the Blue Cocoon. This is my favorite skincare product on the face of this planet. This product has saved my life. It's gotten me through anxiety attacks, panic attacks, bouts of depression. It's gotten me through breakups. It's gotten me through hard times. It's helped keep me in positive spirits in times of happiness. It's helped keep me happy. It's helped with stress. And then that's just the emotional element of it. But applying it to the skin and what it does for the skin is also, it's pretty much the same. It's super soothing, super comforting. So this is a beauty balm. Obviously there's a lot of blue to it from Blue Tansy, which is part of the chamomile family. It's got a high azulene content to it. So what that means is it's super anti-inflammatory, comforts the skin, gets rid of redness, irritation, may actually suggest this as a really great treatment for breakouts or active blemishes. And I find that when my skin is mad at me, I put this on and it's a breath of fresh air. If my skin is chapped or if I've been irritated by a product or if my skin just sort of looks lax and dull and sort of needs a big hug, that's what I use Blue Cocoon for. I bought mine, I'm going to be very honest with you, I bought mine in November 2015, and even though it says 12 months, I have been still using the same jar and it still works just as beautifully as it did the day that I got it. Every once in a while I'll melt it down in a bowl of warm water and refrigerate it just to kind of refresh it, and I think that returns it back to its like original immediately melting state. But it is such a joy to use. I love it. It makes such a huge difference on my skin. Obviously it helps with my mood. It is the product that I truly at this point consider part of my life. It's not an option anymore. If I will not ever not have a jar of Blue Cocoon. So this is what it looks like. You can see it melts. And if I just do that, I'm not using any pressure. I'm just literally sliding this thing around. So it really melts into the skin quite smoothly. A lot of people who have combination or oily skin want to know if they can use this. And to be very fair, it's built around shea butter, so I would be careful, but a lot of people I know with that skin type have gotten on beautifully with it, so it sort of just takes a little bit of trialing, I guess, to see, what it's going to do, but I wouldn't be too worried about it, especially considering you can tell that it's actually not a very heavy product. So a staple, an essential, I love it. It is a lifesaver. If I have any complaint about the Blue Cocoon, and trust me when I say there aren't any, it's that the dandelion it rubbed off pretty quickly on the top of my jar. The other jar that I have, which is on my nightstand, still has the dandelion on it, but I love the look of the dandelion, so I'm a little bit sad that it's gone MIA. But that's what I wanted to mention as well. This is the one that actually Josh kindly gave me. He just said that he wasn't using it and that he knows I love it, so he passed his on to me, and I don't have words to explain how grateful I am, truly. This is the one that I bought, and this is the one that he gave me. So you can see color-wise, They're similar, but they're not the same, and that's because they are handmade, and so you're gonna get batch variety, and I think it's beautiful. I truly do. I think there's such a unique element to that. And that's natural ingredients for you. Plants are not gonna look the same every single time. So the next product I got actually was a gift, again, from Josh, because he's an angel. The honey mud is the next product that I got. It didn't work well for his skin, and it works beautifully on mine, so I'm just super fortunate. I love this product to pieces. I have probably a third left, so I need to be getting another one of these quite soon. I love this so much. It's one of the most unique experiences as far as a cleanser goes that I've ever had, and you have to follow the instructions, because I was very like, oh, I'm not gonna do what it says, and it just doesn't work as well. So this is a gentle cleansing soak. So a lot of people will use this as a mask. I don't ever just put this on, massage it in, and then rinse it away. I do leave it for anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes on my skin afterwards while I'm doing homework or emails or whatever. So I leave it to soak, and then I remove it. The thing that's really special about this is it is as sort of deep cleansing and pore purifying and rebalancing as it is comforting and nourishing and enveloping. So it is clarifying and moisturizing at the same time, which is hard to do, especially if you want to do both effectively, right? So this is raw wildflower honey from unsprayed fields in Michigan. There's white hallousite clay. There's cocoa oil. There's some sweet orange, some vanilla. When you smell this, it's like, ooh, so good. Like, no word in the English language. There's such an amazing cocoa vibe to it, but you also get the earthiness from the clay, and then the honey has that very sticky sweetness to it. It smells beautiful. It's so indulgent. I think that's the best word I can use to describe the honey mud. So it's sort of like a pudding-like texture in the sense that it's more on the solid side. It doesn't tend to run. So if you try to massage it in on dry skin, it doesn't move. And if you're gonna use it as a mask, I would say scoop it up and then sort of press it in, because trying to drag it over the skin doesn't work. If you dampen the skin slightly, it helps to it milks it up a little bit and helps it to move around. But it is really beautiful. It's fantabulous. I love using it. It's great in the morning, kind of makes you feel really elegant when you're getting your day started, but then in the evening it's like a big hug, truly. So once it's smoothed in, you really can't see it. I'm gonna go remove it though, because it's kind of hard to remove without water. I'm always just so amazed after I like take it off the skin, like how good my skin feels. And like, even if you just compare, like there's so much more vibrancy here. Proof is in the pudding. I like the texture is so much more refined. I think that would work well for all skin types, but I tend to reach for it more when I want something on the clarifying side, or I really want to kind of give my skin a little spa treatment. I think it's more of like a treat cleanser, you know what I mean? Next is the Problem Solver, which is probably the most, I guess you could say, iconic Lindstrom product. Like, if someone takes a picture wearing the Problem Solver, you'll know immediately what it is. It's like that amazing green, earthy, textured, fabulous look. I love the Problem Solver, but it is a potent mask. I think I forget that sometimes. I really like to save it for when my skin is just truly not having it. And there are some instances, it usually happens a couple times a month, where my skin is just like, you know what? No, we're not doing it today. It has spices in it, so it warms up and really does kind of heat up on the skin. But it's built around, there's bamboo charcoal, there's Fuller's Earth clay, very earthy, very herbal, but strong. So for me, I actually have to put oil onto my skin before I use it, because it is really balancing and very deep cleansing. And it does sort of, not strip the skin, but it resets it completely. Let's see. Raw cacao, bamboo charcoal, soil nutrients, salts, and exotic spices. And that's May's description, and that's exactly how it feels and what it's like to use it. I actually have purchased the bowl, which actually has some clean dirt in it because I want to be able to show it to you, and the brush. I think these are the extras of the collection. I don't think, they are staples, but I think they definitely elevate the experience of using the Problem Solver or the Honey Mud. The brush is better than any of the other brushes I've tried to use before as far as applying the mask in an even layer. And the shape of this bowl helps to kind of prevent dust from being kicked up everywhere. The one complaint I have about the Problem Solver is it is challenging to mix sometimes. I'm not great at sort of measurements. I'm not very good at baking. I can cook, but I can't bake. It says just shy of equal parts of water to the powder. So I think you actually need like half the amount of water, because if it's too liquidy, it just doesn't spread on the skin and it really sort of kills the experience. But when you get the water right and it turns into the true paste that it's intended to be, it spreads beautifully and it's fantastic. I usually will keep it activated by spritzing throughout, but I'll have, obviously, on the blog much more information. I think as far as value, it's the product that would probably last you the longest because you can custom mix it. So because you're using powder and then adding water, you're ending up with a total of like, 2 parts to make one bigger whole. So the powder goes farther once you add water. It really does spread out, and you usually only need 1 teaspoon to completely do the face and the neck. So it will last you quite a while. So if that helps you to kind of decide on how you want to invest, it's a good product. It will last you quite a long time. If you have incredibly dry skin all the time, I don't know if you'll love the Problem Solver, but if you mix a little honey mud with it, it will cushion it, or you can even mix raw honey with it, which I do sometimes, and that's the thing with the Problem Solver, you can do a lot with it. Next, I picked up the Jasmine Garden, which is heaven in a bottle. It is a blend of witch hazel, silver, and then there's obviously jasmine and I believe a little myrrh or frankincense. That's kind of what I get. And then there's cacao for sure. It's a cocoa jasmine dream, and that's exactly what it is. It's not the most hydrating mist in the world. It's not the most balancing mist in the world. It is, I think, sits right in the middle. It soothes the skin. It does provide a little hydration. It does provide a little balance, but I think for me it helps my oil serums to absorb beautifully. My cap split though, that is a complaint I have. It's split. It's not the end of the world, but I've never had Myron glass spray packaging with a cap that's split before. It split within a couple months too of me getting it, which is not the end of the world, but worth mentioning. I think it would be good for all skin types, but if you just like to treat yourself and you just like to feel good when you use your mist, the Jasmine Garden's for you. After that, I got the Clean Dirt, which I actually used this morning. One of my favorite pastimes is making a paste out of this, applying it all over my face, and I have a window in my shower, so as the sun is rising and it's shining in, I just sit there and just bask, like, and so good. I did that this morning. It has a really strong clove scent to it. There's a lot of clove in here, so you can definitely tell that. And for me, clove is super comforting, and it feels like it just cares for you. This is a cleansing powder. Well, I would say it's a cleansing exfoliating powder. She describes it as a cleansing clay. And to be very fair, it does have a good amount of clay to it, but for me, I reach for this more when my skin is textured and dull and just doesn't have vibrancy to it, because it does resurface the skin. I will never give up my acids, you all know that. I love my acids to death, but on days when I don't feel like using them, this does suffice. It does give me a truly resurfaced feel. It's just the way it does it is different. It has red Alea sea salt. It has water-activated vitamin C, which I do find to be quite brightening on my skin after I remove it. There's clays, obviously, essential oils. Obviously, the clove is a big element to it. The scent is similar to the Problem Solver, I will say that. That clay-like vibe, but you definitely get clove out of this. I don't use this all the time because my skin, it is clay-based, and my skin doesn't often get oily. I love this in the summer. But like I said, it's one of those products I love to use in the morning. It really starts my day off right. It's amazing when it's cold outside. It's amazing when you've had a stressful day and you just kind of want to like basically scrub the grossness off. Not that I would ever suggest that you scrub your face, you know what I mean? But it does exfoliate. So I really like the Clean Dirt a lot. I will be very honest though and say that it sort of sometimes gets pushed to the back of my skincare cabinet. But every single time that I use it, I'm like, why have I stopped? If that shows you how my mind works. It is a beautiful product, and I love it. Really great if you've got a combination oily skin. I think you'll really enjoy that. This is what the Clean Dirt looks like. It's kind of hard for you to see. I put a little bit in the bowl. It's a powder, so it's a little bit tricky to kind of show you. But when you activate it with water on this skin, it has this amazing golden orange tinge to it. not quite as vibrant as like a turmeric, but there's definitely like a golden orange hue to it. Oh god, my skin's so soft. Blue Cocoon I got at Shen Beauty. The Honey Mud was a gift, but then the Problem Solver, the Jasmine Garden, and the Clean Dirt I purchased directly from Lindstrom, and I still think it's my preferred way to shop. I think the experience of shopping with her is so elevated. And actually, I believe, so a lot of this I picked up for my birthday last year, and she included a handwritten note that says, "Dear Chris, this moment is yours." And I think some other people I've seen similar notes to other people, and this lives above my bed to kind of keep like her protective energy around me and keep me safe. This means so much to me, these words. After that, I picked up the Good Stuff, which is the body oil. So I picked up the Good Stuff from Cult Beauty when they were having their sort of holiday sort of gift with purchase. And that's also when I got the Youth Dew as part of the gift with purchase, so I'll mention that in a second. But the Good Stuff is, like I said, May's first product. It's a body oil. So I love the way it smells. It's very cocoa. You do have to shake it up because there's gold in it and it will settle. I have to be very careful with the Good Stuff though. I will be very honest with you and just mention that, I want to rub it in, but it's got like an amazing orangey golden hue to it. It smells very similar to the Honey Mud. Very similar. Just less earthy. More like elegant, luxurious, like enveloping gourmand. There is gold to it, but I don't find it gives my skin any glitter. It's a very sensual product. I love using it. Like if I'm having a spa night to myself or something like that, it just really does make you feel hot, basically. I have to be careful though. Sometimes it can dehydrate my skin if I have applied it incorrectly. So the best way to apply it as per her recommendations is on pretty damp skin. I usually just like kind of lightly blot with a towel and then immediately go in with the Good Stuff. I save it for my arms and my chest and that sort of thing. I don't really put it on my legs or anything like that. Just because I'm like, up here's, I want to smell it. If I wait for it to the water to evaporate off my skin too much, it can tend to dry my skin out just a little bit, so I do have to be very careful. Out of all of the products, it's the product that I think I reach for the least. I mean, the Problem Solver I technically use the least because I don't require it all the time, but the Good Stuff, I think, for me, it's not the first product I would repurchase, but I would still repurchase it, and I will still repurchase it because it is so enjoyable to use, and when you crave it and when you crave the experience of it, nothing else can satisfy it except this. I just want to eat myself. I really do. If you've used the Tata Harper body oil, I would say the viscosity is similar. Last but not least, the Youth Dew. So this was, for me, the hardest sell. It's the product that it took me the longest to really fall in love with. And I think it's because I assumed that, oh, well, it contains oils, therefore it's an oil. I really do think it is a serum in the way that Vintner's Daughter is a serum, in the way that oil serums are oil serums, and they're just that, they're not oils. So this is something you want to apply onto damp skin and really press it in and approach it the way you would your serum. Get it in as close contact with your skin as you can. This has a really beautiful blend of oils. I get like a very cherry almond scent from it. I swear it smells like a chocolatey version of like Jergens classic, like, that cherry almond scent that I think is amazing and so unique and fabulous. I'm wearing the Youth Dew today. I'll put a little bit on. I just put some Blue Cocoon on before I sat down, but I'll put some on so you can sort of see. Mind you, this is not the best way to do it. You really do want it onto damp skin, but it's a balancing serum. I would not equate it to like a really comforting, nourishing, like syrupy serum oil. It's definitely on the lighter side as far as weight and kind of hydration levels. But that's what makes it so nice during the daytime, because it does sit very lightly on the skin, and any products you put on top will continue to sink in. They don't feel sort of stifled. There is CoQ10 in here, but it's the very last ingredients. It is avocado, meadow foam, olive, plum kernel, jojoba, sea buckthorn, rosehip, pomegranate, tamanu. Among those are just the first couple. There's actually quite a few oils that are traditionally fairly heavy, but somehow the Youth Dew remains very light, and it remains very balancing. It almost feels like there's a lot more grapeseed oil in it than there is, because it is quite balancing. Not drying, but definitely balancing. A lot of people like to compare it to Vintner's Daughter. I personally prefer Vintner's Daughter as far as what it does for my skin and how often I use it and crave it. If you could get either Vintner's Daughter or the Youth Dew and be happy with either. I've had mine since December and I use it fairly frequently. I would say a couple times a week. Right here, this is how much I've used since December, where my index finger is. I will say, if you are truly concerned about correcting severe signs of skin damage or large pores or fine lines, I would say a retinoid is probably going to be the best way to go. I mean, you can definitely work the Youth Dew in a couple times a week during the day or night, but for me, I think serums that contain certain vitamins and that sort of thing will just be a little bit more effective, but they won't give you the same experience that the Youth Dew will. So, products that I think are missing, there's a lot of oils, and I think that's fantastic. I think I'm a cherry picker. I can't commit myself to just one brand, because there's certain things my skin requires that certain brands just don't make, or certain brands do an experience really well, or certain brand, whatever the case may be. The one thing I think that May Lindstrom is missing is something that is truly designed to boost hydration. And I wish there was like a hyaluronic serum, or I obviously it would have to be sort of on brand, and it would have to be the right context. But I think something with tons of, vegetable derived hyaluronic acid alternatives, or sodium hyaluronate, or something like that that is truly hydrating, I think would make the collection complete. Because that is the one thing I find, with just doing the Jasmine Garden, the Youth Dew, and following with the Blue Cocoon, yes, my skin is comforted, but it still feels like it's dehydrated. And that's my skin. And I know a lot of people deal with dehydration, and there are plenty brands that will say just spritz and apply the oil serum, but I think for a lot of people it's not enough sometimes, unless the mist they're using is really hydrating, and the Jasmine Garden for my skin isn't. So that's the one thing that I think could be added. I mean, you can use the Blue Cocoon around the eyes. I use the Youth Dew around the eyes. I think it's totally fine. I'm excited for the Pendulum Potion. But I think overall the collection is complete, and you can do a lot with this collection. It will address a lot of different skin concerns. It's very hard for me to pick a favorite. I mean, it's not, because the Blue Cocoon is just my favorite product to exist, and it's the product that immediately I would repurchase if anything happened to it, out of all of my skincare, but certainly out of her brand. And I think the products that I use the most are the Jasmine Garden, the Honey Mud, and the Youth Dew. The Problem Solver, the Clean Dirt, and the Good Stuff are amazing, but if I took those away, I would still be very satisfied with my May Lindstrom collection. Now, obviously, I love everything, and I will use everything, and I'll continue to repurchase everything, and there's a reason I have the collection, like I've said, but definitely the Blue Cocoon, Honey Mud, and Jasmine Garden and the Youth Dew are my core staples. She does sell her products on Beautylish, so obviously everything in the May Lindstrom range, they're investment pieces, and I'm not gonna negate that or ignore that. It's not always practical for every single person to spend this amount of money on a single product, and I totally understand and respect that. Beautylish has a payment program, I do that a lot. I got my Wayne Goss brushes on their payment plan. If your total is over $100, they'll let you pay over 3 months' time, and a good portion of the May Lindstrom collection is around or above $100. So, and if you wanted to get a couple products, you could totally do that and just sort of reduce your payments and spread them out over 3 months' time, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So, and I think it's a great way to acquire the brand for sure. I have been nothing but just truly beyond satisfied and appreciative of the customer experience that I've gotten. Everything that I've ordered has gone through smoothly. I have had zero complaints. My experience with the brand from a customer service perspective is amazing. My experience as someone who appreciates skincare is amazing. As someone who's in the skincare industry, there's something special about May Lindstrom, her and her collection of beautiful products, and I don't think anyone can do May Lindstrom like May Lindstrom, and that has to be said. And May, if you're watching this, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for putting your heart into what you do. It has helped me so much. The things that you've created have have helped me in more ways that I can think of at this time. And the words that you've said to me and just the words that you put into the world are so beautiful and so powerful, and I thank you so much. Truly, thank you. I hope I addressed everything. I hope I was able to really kind of talk about things effectively without rambling. Be sure to check out the blog post. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them below, and I will talk to you guys really soon. Thanks. Bye.